Yo, 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 peace and blessings. It is your boy Nikia. I'm back again with another episode. And today I wanted to continue a little bit of the journey that we started. Hopefully my brother can join us a little bit later on. The the brother who calls himself Robert Jr., the tycoon. So hopefully he can join us again. We did have some good conversation and good dialogue. I know you were not able to see him, but you were able to at least hear him on our last broadcast. So hopefully he's able to join us today. I know he was in route headed home as we were speaking. So if he comes in, we'll definitely throw him into the broadcast. But I did want to get into a little bit of what we're going to cover today. Today we are going to talk just a little bit in your ear, continue the journey that we started last time. And I want to start with a little bit of the scripture. But before I do that, I did want to announce the Bivens decision and the fact that this is for informational purposes only. As I always say to you, do your own research. Please go vet the information that is poured out. This is for informational purposes only. It is up to you to do your own research. It's up to you to vet the information that's going to be put out. This is only information. We do not give legal counsel. We don't give legal advice. We're not lawyers. None of that information. Again, please listen at your own risk. All right. I want to start with the Bivens decision as mentioned and some scripture as well, just to kind of set the basis for what we're talking about here. Now, of course, the Bivens decision, if you look up the case of 1971, I believe it was when the Bivens decision was handed down. Any of the information that is released here, although it be in a public forum, it is for private use only. Therefore, we proclaim that anyone that is an agent of any member of law enforcement or anything of that nature that attempts to use any of this information that is being put out there today, we do not consent to your unauthorized use of any of this information. This is just for informational purposes only, as we always encourage. Do your own research. All right, that is the Bivens decision. There's also our disclaimer that all of this information is for that exactly information only. So I did want to give you a little bit here from the scriptures, and I'm going to go to Isaiah 61. Now, if you haven't already listened to an overstanding word, there is a link in the bio. So click on the bio of the video. You're going to find a link to an overstanding word podcast. We have been releasing new episodes, so please do yourself a favor and go and listen to the information that is being dropped there as we go through the scripture. We also have in this new season, this new period of time that we've entered, we started some video reading as well. So you'll see some videos that are there. So again, please go back and revisit that. There's a lot of episodes that are in the previous seasons as well, and that'll help you to come to where we are in the journey now. In just a moment, I'm going to share some success stories as well with some new remedies, and we'll talk a little bit about where those remedies came from. Shout out to the Bad Wolf, my brother James Lovett, dropping some facts. Him and his cousin dropping some straight facts and knowledge with some of the remedies. And shout out as well to our brothers from Arkansas, our fellow Arkansans, who dropped Copper Moonshine. So that's a website. If you go look up Copper Moonshine, you'll find their information in regards to a remedy. But the scripture that we want to get into today is Isaiah 61. I'll go through 1 through verse 4 here. And this is what it says in verse 1. It says, "The Spirit of the Sovereign Lord is upon me, for the Lord has anointed me to bring good news to the poor. He has sent me to comfort the heartbroken and to proclaim that captives will be released and prisoners will be freed." That is a declaration in itself. So as the prophet Isaiah gave this unto the children of Israel, those that were in bondage, in slavery, and again, the modern day slave, you're listening, you're tuning in right now to the modern day slave. So I want you to understand what we're talking about here. He has sent me to tell those who mourn that the time of the Lord's favor has come, and with it, the day of God's anger against their enemies. I want you to, we're reading the word, that's all. To all who mourn in Israel, he will give a crown of beauty for ashes, a joyous blessing upon the morning, festive praise instead of despair. See, a lot of you get tossed and turned by what is going on today and taking place in the land, that you waver, you move, or you get wrapped up and soaked up in what all is taking place and what's going on. Well, I'm here to proclaim and to tell you today, don't get caught up in it. Don't get caught up in the mischief and the foolishness that's taking place in the land. You don't want to get wrapped up in Babylon's destruction as she's getting ready to go where she's getting ready to go. You don't want to be a part of that. Don't partake in that. Don't partake in the deeds that are taking place on the land. In their righteousness, they will be like great oaks that the Lord has planted for his own glory. See, we've got to stand tall in Babylon. What did Bob Marley say? Stand firm in a Babylon. Or no, it wasn't Bob Marley. It was the Wailers. The Wailers. There's a new album that they came out. But stand firm in the Babylon. You have to stand firm. You have to stand up. You have to stand on principles. See, the Creator gave us principles. He gave us laws and regulations to abide by. But they took those, replaced them with their own, and then subjugated us to that. That's how we became enslaved. And then I'm going to finish off here with verse 4. So let me go to verse 4. They will rebuild the ancient ruins, repairing cities destroyed long ago. They will revive them, though they had been deserted for many generations. And that's our scripture for today, because I want you to understand that we're in a period of time right now where restoration is coming for the masses. And if you are not careful, you will get caught up in all that Babylon is doing, all that the enemy is doing through his works and his deeds and his actions in this period of time. So don't get yourself caught up in that, because that is what they want you to do. They want you to get caught up in all that they have going on. That's the goal, is to keep you distracted, to keep you pulled in all these different directions by everything that's taking place and transpiring in the land, so that you miss out on the blessings that are to come as well. Notice that it says there, rebuild the ancient ruins, right? Repair. Those are all words that are mentioned there in the scripture according to Isaiah 61:4. And we are in a period of time where reparation is taking place, where reclamation is taking place. That means to reclaim what was yours. You were given the birthright in the first place, right? You were taken out of the dust. From the dust you were formed, and then you were breathed into to give you life. Well, we also return back unto that which we were created out of. Well, why do we not control it in our entire life, right? If we were created out of the land and soil, that is, then why is it that it's taxed as it is today? So if you've listened to the previous episode, you'll understand a little bit more of what we're going to bring you in today's episode as we dive a little bit deeper. So let me pull up a little bit more here. Now, last time we dropped you some nuggets. Again, shout out to my brother, Bad Wolf, who he dropped a lot of these nuggets out of 8 USC 1481. And that's talking about nationality. So we're going to go back there into the notes section, and we're going to finish up where we started and left off. But I did want to share something that happened recently. See this thing right here? I had to go get me another one of these recently. And in obtaining that, I was able to obtain what's called a 4-star status. And that was done because I've already corrected the record to let them know I have standing. So just so you know, 4-star status means do not detain, do not interrogate. Why? Because you're standing on the land, because you're in your rightful position, the position that your creator gave to you in the first place, and you're not underneath bondage. So shout out again to brother James. Love it. Check out his YouTube channel. He's got a lot of great information. Like I said, I love the broadcast that he did recently with him and his cousin. They dropped this jewel. And so as we get ready to dive in today, we're going to dive back into this jewel, this gem that's here as well. So I did want to go back down to the notes section. So notice here, right? 8 USC. Okay. 1481, and I'll scroll back down to where we left off last time. So this is where we left off at, right? We were talking about the right of expatriation. We also went into the Declaration of Independence as well, and we talked about some of the things that are declared according to the Declaration of Independence. So, again, notice it says here, and I'll start where we left off at, right? And we left off here, right? Where it talks about their descendants, right? So let's just go back to I want to make sure you're grounded and you have the full information. So let's just go back through it here, right? It says this, right? Revised Statute 1999 provided that whereas the right to expatriate is a natural and inherent right of all people, indispensable to the enjoyment of the rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and whereas in the recognition of this principle, this government has freely received immigrants from all nations and invested them with the rights to citizenship. Now, some of you may be, kind of confused by this and what's in Title 42. I also have Title 42 listed here as well. There's some good information, especially in the section 1301. So it's good information here as well. But again, has and invested them with the rights of citizenship. And whereas it is claimed that such American citizens with their descendants are subjects of what? Foreign states. Well, I wonder, we'll go into that in just a minute. Foreign states, we'll come back to that in just a second. Owing allegiance to the government thereof, and whereas it is necessary to the maintenance of public peace, that this claim of foreign allegiance should be promptly and finally disavowed. So in other words, they're saying if you come in as a foreigner, right, and you had some type of citizenship in a foreign, notice it says states there, right, foreign states with an S, right, lowercase f, lowercase s on that, right, that should be disavowed. Therefore, any declaration, instruction, opinion, order, or decision of any officer of the United States, capital U, capital S, which denies, restricts, impairs, or questions the right of expatriation, they're telling you it's an inherent right, is declared inconsistent with the fundamental principles of the republic. Republic is capitalized, so the term republic is capitalized, right? Let's talk about these foreign states. Let's go in here. Let's get what definition of foreign state is. So according to the code here, this is what foreign state is, right? It says the term, quote, foreign state includes outlying possessions of a foreign state. Well, I wonder which possession they're referring to here. Outlying possessions of a foreign state. But self-governing dominions or territories under mandate or trusteeship shall be regarded as separate foreign states. Very interesting language. But self-governing dominions or territories under mandate or trusteeship shall be regarded as separate foreign states. Well, maybe a nugget there for you. Maybe a good nugget of information that's there for you. So we'll go back. So again, this is 8 USC 1481. And we go down under the notes section. This is where it's hidden at. All the way at the bottom, right of expatriation. Let's go back in Title 18. We went here last time to help you to understand jurisdiction. I think this is another good one that if you have a chance, go visit this one. We talked about the special maritime jurisdiction of the United States as titled here, right? This is what it says. It says the high seas any other waterway, any other waters within the Admiralty and maritime jurisdiction of the United States and out of the jurisdiction of any particular state, and any vessel belonging in whole or in part to the United States or any citizen thereof, or to any corporation created by or under the laws of the United States or of any capital S state, territory, district, or possession thereof, when such vessel is within the Admiralty and maritime jurisdiction of the United States and out of the jurisdiction of any particular, and then capital S, state. Now, this is a good one. This is really good. Any vessel registered, licensed, or enrolled under the law of the United States and being on a voyage upon the waters of any of the Great Lakes, so they put the Great Lakes in there, or any of the waters connecting them, or upon the St. Lawrence River. Remember the good old sailing of the St. Lawrence River, where the same constitutes the international boundary lines. Now, that brings into question quite a few things. Excuse me. Goes a little bit further to talk about the land. Any land reserved or acquired for the use of the United States and under the exclusive or concurrent jurisdiction thereof, or any place purchased or otherwise acquired by the United States by consent of the legislation of a state in which the same shall be for the erection of a fort, magazine, arsenal, dockyard, or other needful building. So that means federal buildings, right? That's reserved. Any island, rock, or key containing deposits of guano, which may, at the discretion of the president, be considered as pertaining to the United States. So again, this is important pieces about jurisdiction. It's important for you to understand jurisdiction. Any place outside the jurisdiction of any nation with respect to an offense by or against a national of the United States. So that means that you have jurisdiction of your own foreign seas as well. And then, of course, you can see vehicles here. So I won't go through all the boring details or spare you with that. But that is important because when you continue next, it tells you a little bit about the security. Who is to secure? Notice here, a security. Here's a security that you may not have known was a security. And canceled United States stamps. Now, I'm going to give you the ironic thing here. Let me see. I may be able to pull up some documents for you really quick. Give me just a second. Let's see if I've got this document. I know I've got some really good stuff here. Let's see here. All right, let's see if we can find it. See if we can find the canceled stamps here. Here we go. Okay, let's take a look at this. This may be some good stuff here. Now, and I want you to notice this is going back pretty far. This is as I was doing a chain of titles. I stumbled across some things here. Notice here what we have here. So the original land patent owner here, an unmarried man. Notice how the security measure was implemented. Stamp, $5.50. And how was it done? Canceled. So this is a security measure. This is an important piece because there's a couple of different things according to the UCC codes. So let me see if I can pull up the UCC codes as well and take you into something a little bit different, a little bit further. And let's see here. Do we have it pulled up? This may be it. Let me bring this over. Okay. Unconditional promise or order. This one's really good, right? We've got a couple of different things here to talk about a promise. Let's see if we can find the utility, the transmitting utility. I may have that one as well. Let's see. Nope, not there. Is it here? Nope. All right, I'll bring you that one later. But notice here, right? Here's what it says, right? A promise or order. I'm going to B, section B, really quick. A promise or order is not made conditional by a reference to another record for a statement of rights with respect to collateral, prepayment, or acceleration, or because payment is limited to result to a particular fund or source. Now, that's an important part because if we go back to the previous one, instrument payable in foreign money is 7. Issue of an instrument. Okay, so they talked about an instrument just a second ago, security instrument, right? Issue means the first delivery of an instrument by the maker or drawer. Now, those two terms are also defined, very important terms. I highly encourage you to go look those up. Whether to a holder or non-holder for the purpose of giving rights to the instrument to any person. Now, person has some definitions as well. Highly encourage you to go look up those definitions because there's some good information in there in regards to the definitions and what they mean. Definitions and what they mean. This is a very important code because this code helps you to understand a little bit about what they mean when they say instrument. Now, I'm going to go back, I think, to the previous code as well. Let me go back here. 3 and issue of an instrument. Negotiable instrument. Here we go. Negotiable instrument. Here we go. So this one's really good as well. Except as provided in the subsection C and D, negotiable instrument means an unconditional promise or order to pay a fixed amount of money with or without interest or other charges described in the promise or order if it is payable to the what is this? Bearer. Very important term. Or to order at the time it is issued or first comes into possession of a holder. Another term that's used. All of these terms are very complicated terms as it relates to the code that you want to make sure you research and look up. Is payable on demand or at a definite time and does not state any other undertaking or instructions by the person promising or ordering payment to do any act in addition to the payment of money. But the promise or order may contain an undertaking or power to give, maintain, or protect collateral. And here we go. To secure payment. An authorization or power to the holder. So let me give you a little bit of how this applies, right? When you look at a loan, for example, right? A lot of these same terms will be in there, right? When it talks about the holder. Well, what they do is they create a piece of paperwork that represents real property, okay? Because an entity can't own real property. Only living, breathing men and women can. So they create a piece of paperwork that represents that. They then hold that and call themselves the holder. Well, what do they do with that? They then have you as the living, breathing to sign on the dotted line as trustee. Trustee, in most cases, makes you the one who has to be responsible for making payments. And then they put themselves as what we call a beneficiary. Now, if you are the living, breathing man who has possession of the property, don't you think that you should be probably the beneficiary of said property? That is why understanding trust is important. Because once you understand trust, you understand that there's several roles in there. Okay. Executor, trustee, beneficiary. Who is the beneficiary of a trust? It is the living, breathing men and women that are the creators of said trust. That's how it's supposed to work. So what they do with this triangle is they make themselves the beneficiary by you signing on the dotted line. And when doing so, that then requires for you to be the trustee making payment to them on something that is your property. So I hope that hit home for you. I hope you you got that piece. I hope that was applicable for you. Authorization or power to the holder to confess judgment or realize on or depose of collateral. So what is the collateral? Collateral is the property. A waiver of benefits of any law intended for the advantage or protection of the obligor. Now that's another term that I would highly encourage you to look up. Again, we see it here. Instrument means negotiable instrument. Order meets the requirements under subsection here, right? They give you a couple of exemptions. And falls within the definition of check. See, this is something else that you need to look up right here. This gives you what check is. In the subsection, and is negotiable instrument and a check. Let's click on check. Let's see what that says here. Oh, here we go. So as we look at this, what do we got for check? Meaning a draft other than a documentary draft, payable on demand, and drawn on a bank or cashier's check, teller's check, an instrument. Well, we just talked about the term instrument, right? Maybe a check, even if it is described. What's up? Oh. Huh? Oh, you taking him to okay, cool. And so again, you can see here they're talking about a check, right? So what that term means, and you can see where they're giving you instructions on what a check can be. Well, a lot of us don't understand this. We think it's got to be our hard-earned cash, your hard-earned capital. Well, according to their code, may not mean exactly what we thought it was. This is the UCC, Uniform Commercial Codes 3-104. This tells you what a negotiable instrument is. So again, that's important to understand as we get into where we're talking about this whole security piece, where we just talked about the canceled stamps. Like I said, I just showed it to you. If you look into my chain of titles, you can see right here that when they were snatching up land back then and creating these holdings, they were using canceled stamps. Well, what does it mean to cancel a stamp? That's what it means to cancel a stamp, when you write through the stamp. Let's see. No, I don't have any here. I'll tell you what, I got an example though. I believe I can show it to you. what we mean when we say canceled stamp. Let's take a look at this. Bam. You see this? So when you sign through this at a 45-degree angle with your copyright signature, it makes you the judge and jury. You're canceling the stamp. Now notice this is just a 2-cent stamp canceled here, making me the owner of this vessel that I'm transmitting. So again, more information to you today. We brought you some really good information, and hopefully this will help you to start to understand how to walk in what is your true rights, and understand what is taking place on the land that is requiring for you to pay quote unquote taxes on the land. What is required for you to quote register your personal automobile. All of it is about this thing, a thing to be able to control you, the puppet hand, puppet master. They're controlling you through exactly that. Well, now that you have some more information, some more knowledge, hopefully this will help you to be able to understand how to do your research so that you can start the process of coming out of the mischief that they're creating. So again, this has been some good information. Let me see if my brother had a chance to. I don't see him yet, but let's see if he jumped in. I don't look like he jumped in, man. I do welcome any questions as well. Looks like we don't have any comments right now at the moment, but I do welcome any questions from those that are out there that may have questions about anything. Please feel free to drop them in the chat. Again, I hope this information was at least informational to you, to bring you a little bit closer to where your true rights, your true destiny lies. This is your boy Nakia, bringing you some straight up information again. We are out. Appreciate it.